Welcome back to my car rental in Ireland series. In the last episode, I broke down insurance, probably the most confusing part of the whole process. Now we're going to look at the quotes themselves. On the surface, car rental quotes can look very different, and it's not always easy to compare them fairly without breaking them down and really looking. So today I'm just sharing a simple spreadsheet, walking you through the details and how to find the information if it's not plainly stated, so you can make the closest apples to apples comparison even when the quotes aren't identical. Welcome to another Traveling in Ireland Quick Tips episode, where I share one piece of advice to help you make the most of your Ireland vacation. I'm Jody Halstead, Ireland travel advisor and host of the Traveling in Ireland podcast. So what I've done is I have collected 5 quotes from 5 different companies, and I'm going to show you the spreadsheet and how I break them down and determine which is the best car rental for me. Now, all of these rentals have the same dates of October 19th through 26th, 2025. All of them have pickup and drop-off at Dublin Airport, and all of them are the same or a similar vehicle to a Hyundai Tucson automatic vehicle. So here's the spreadsheet. And again, this is nothing fancy. This is just a Google spreadsheet, and you can see that I have 5 companies here. I have Irish Car Rentals, Enterprise.ie, Sixt.ie, Newway.ie, and My Irish Cousin. Now, the .ie on the end of Enterprise and Sixt and Newway specify that that is an Irish website. In order to get the best quote possible from those international companies, Enterprise, Budget, Alamo, Hertz, always use the .ie. That way you can add the insurance on. If you use the .com, you're going to have that insurance that we talked about in the last episode to deal with it when you get to Ireland. So just so you know. All right. So here's Irish Car Rentals, just so you can see kind of what you're looking at. The vehicle, adding the full protection, and then recommended extras. So I've added a driver and the premium protection, and I have a total price of $423.79 there. But that's not the total price, because not included in that are my cross-border fees and roadside coverage. Now on Enterprise, again, an intermediate SUV. So I have the excess protection added and the roadside protection is added. And it's giving me right now $665.46. Again, not the entire picture. If we move on to Sixt, we have the same type of vehicle. And then I had to switch pages and going to add the additional driver there. Cross-border fee can be added here. And on the previous page, I added the insurance. So right now looking at a total of $878.32, but again, not quite the full story. Pop over to Newway. Now, Newway is a company that includes all coverages. So it includes all the extra fees. And when I ran this up earlier with Newway on the same type of vehicle, I had a price of $506. It did not include the additional driver, so that came in there. So that $506 that I ended up with, not the complete story, but really close. And then finally, My Irish Cousin, which is another fully inclusive car rental company in Ireland. So My Irish Cousin is a website where you actually fill in a request and then they will email you the quote. So I've already done that. And the quote that I received from My Irish Cousin is on my spreadsheet. So going back to my spreadsheet, we're going to dig a little bit more into these because, like I said, the numbers that we were getting weren't the full story. So they all had a base price. We were able to add the excess or the insurance. So we have the additional driver with My Irish Cousin, it was included. cross-border fees. Now, on some of these websites, I was able to add it, but you can see on Irish Car Rentals, I actually had to go onto the site and find the fee because I wasn't able to add it. So let me show you where I found that. The problem with comparing car rentals is that you actually sometimes have to go looking for the information. So I'm not able to add cross-border fee here, but if I go into terms and conditions and open the full terms and conditions, you can see that it is, let me see, take the car abroad. Travel to Northern Ireland has a €34.05 addition per rental. So I found that, I added it to my spreadsheet, easy peasy. And you can see that has been added right here. All the cars have unlimited mileage. They do not all include roadside assistance. So on Sixt, it was included in the excess. New Way and My Irish Cousin both have it included in their policies. But with Irish Car Rentals and with Enterprise, it was actually an additional charge. So I put those in there. Again, this is something that I was able to add on during the booking. So I was able to see it right away. Taxes and surcharges are included in all of the rentals. And then there's a deductible. So Enterprise actually doesn't have a zero deductible on their excess insurance. It has a €250 deductible. So when you arrive in Ireland, you will have that hold on your card for the €250. That is the deductible if you use the insurance. Tires and windscreen were included in all of them. It looked like on Enterprise it was included in the roadside. That was the only spot that I could find it mentioned. So definitely something to keep in mind. Tire punctures are very common in Ireland. I think that's probably the most common damage that I hear of. So you want to make sure that those tires are included in your coverage. And then over here we have the total costs. So for my trip, Irish Car Rentals actually came out to be the most affordable with all the coverage and even excess fees that I had to add. Still the best cost for the vehicle I wanted. The next one came out to be New Way. And then My Irish Cousin and Enterprise were very, very close together. The benefit to My Irish Cousin is that there is no deposit. And then Sixt came out to be the last, dead last. Now this is going to change. I did these all these numbers this morning, and then when I went back this afternoon, on some of the car rental companies, they had changed. So they can change by the day, by the hour, by the minute. So if you're really cost conscious, you might watch it for a while. But in my opinion, I start looking when I know my dates, and I just lock down my car then. The further out you lock down your car, the better your rates are most likely going to be. Like I said, every car rental company is different. Every car rental company is going to have their own little quirks, and you may have to go searching quite a little bit to get information. Like on Enterprise, I was not able to specifically see anything that said tires and windscreen were 100% covered. On the roadside, it looked like they were included, but there were some exclusions. So always be aware of the coverages that you do have and know what you're getting. But this is how you can very easily take these prices that look so different. Like, immediately you're going to be drawn to this €150 price. But in the end, depending on how all the excess and everything shakes down, it may not be the best deal when you get to everything added in. Now that you know how to compare quotes, we're going to talk about timing in the next episode. I'm going to explain when to rent and where you aren't going to need a car during your trip. Thanks so much for joining me. Slán for now.